Hello and welcome to the Daily Royal. My name is Shelby and I have been a royal watcher for the past 10 years. In this podcast, I talk about the daily events of 7 of the European monarchies. So I talk about Belgium, the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. I upload Monday through Friday with occasional bonus episodes here and there. Today we are going to be talking about all of the events from Tuesday, October 5th of 2021. It was a relatively slow day, at least in terms of what we've been seeing most recently. It's pretty slow, just a few events here and there, but nothing too intense, although we did have like a one foreign trip for the day. Also, can we just talk about this week and how I understand that it's Tuesday, but so far we've had 2 day trips to other countries from royals, and one more still for sure to come. And also today, I love this day, but also somewhat am oh gosh, what is going to happen in November? So, there's a lot going on in November. And it's a lot of state visits and foreign trips, and it's just a lot. I'm very excited for it all, very excited for it all. I'm a little overwhelmed at how much is coming. It was basically confirmed today that the Spanish royal visit to Sweden is going to happen in November. Queen Letizia is going to Paraguay in November. That was also announced late last night. Crown Princess Victoria is going to the Netherlands shortly after the Netherlands goes to Norway. King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima are going to Greece at the end of the month, or maybe in early December, while also going to Norway in early November. So, now listen, this is what I intended to be covering and talking about when this podcast started, and it's totally fine, and I'm so excited. This is everything I wanted when I started it. I've gotten so used to a pandemic life, and a pandemic podcast that, I'm curious to see how multiple state visits go around the same time, and just November in general, as it's already some days hard to keep up with everything going on anyway. I think it'll be fine. It'll just be interesting. So the pressure is on for me to really get my act together before November, because I don't want to miss out on any of that. So that's where we're at. That's what we're living with. And so now we are going to jump right in with the Belgian Royal Family. Belgium. In Belgium, there were 2 events today. So first, King Felipe met with and delivered the King's Sword. So he met with the recipient of that award. So this is an award given out to a 3rd-year officer at the Royal Military Academy. And typically it's going to be the top student of their class who receives this award. And so this is important because by the end of the month, there is a parade kind of thing for the Royal Military Academy where this award is an important piece of that event. Now, I don't know if it is expected that King Felipe will be at this event. He was last year, but also Elizabeth was in the Royal Military Academy, so that one, I think he's at every few years, so we'll see if he goes this year. It's just a matter of we'll see. There's a lot of things like that right now. And so last year that was held at like the very end of the month, so I expect that to be roughly around the same time. So that was his day today. And then also today, Queen Mathilde was in Paris. She was visiting Paris for the Mind Our Rights Now conference, and she was doing this as in her role as ambassador for the Sustainable Development Goals, specifically focused on like education and mental health. So she gave a speech at the conference talking about the SDG and like her specific goal that she works on, which is really, again, focused on education and mental health. But then she also spoke with the director of UNESCO, which is the United Nations like education branch, essentially. They are also what have like the World Heritage Sites, just places that are very education focused. About specifically, they were talking about the school closures and dropouts, etc., that have happened due to the pandemic, and what kind of the effect of the pandemic, the effect the pandemic has had on long-term education, and what that looks like going forward. Because we have to remember the pandemic, while yes, affecting every piece of our like physical health, has also impacted basically every single thing going on in the world. Education, mental health, businesses, like all the things have been affected because of this pandemic. We are going to see the lasting effects of COVID-19 for years. And some of it will be health-wise, sure. Some of it will be everything else. The way businesses run, everything like that is changing. And so that is part of the discussion is, there are people who their sole purpose right now is to research and figure out the lasting effects of COVID and what that's going to look like, which is bizarre because, like, for you and I, well, me and others in the States, this feels like it's never going to end. And I think, if you are in Europe and you're in these countries I talk about every day, COVID is different. COVID is managed. And here, we got away from mask requirements in stores for a while, and then very quickly went back to them because people aren't getting vaccinated here. I have mentioned, I will continue to mention, I am vaccinated. When it is time to get my booster, I will get my booster. Like, I will do the things. But me doing them, yes, I will still continue to do them. But not enough people are that, like, I will probably not be able to lead a normal life for another year or longer, just due to people's behaviors. So, but like the rest of Europe, and well, I'm not in Europe, but the rest of the world seems to be getting to a place of okayness. And there's us who just are like belligerent children who don't do what they're told. We're awful. I know. But anyway, so that was the focus there. And then she also, she also took time for a meeting with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. So that was Queen Mathilde's day in Paris. Now, yesterday, King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia were in Scotland, and it was like a complete surprise. I don't think today with Queen Mathilde would have been a complete surprise had I read more information on the event she was doing. It was a shock to me. Like, I did not know she was going to be in Paris, but that does not mean that they didn't put that out there in the world. I just truly, when I was like making my, here's what I'm going to be doing, here's what the royals are going to be doing this week list, I just didn't click on this one because I thought, oh, it's just a conference. I figured she was going to be participating digitally, as, she has in all of these kinds of things for the past year and a half. But of course, that was not the case because Europe is not rampant with COVID. They still have COVID, but like they're not rampant with it. So that was the events in Belgium, and now we are going to move over to the British royal family. The United Kingdom. Today in the UK, there were also 2 events. So the first is the Prince of Wales is still in Scotland, which kind of surprised me because Queen Elizabeth is back. She is officially back in residence at Windsor and has been since Saturday. But the Prince of Wales was in Scotland today. So, it's just... I feel like he's been in Scotland literally all summer, which I know is typical for the British royal family. Like, I understand that. It just feels like, oh, he's still there? Okay. And he's come back to London and England and done a few things here and there. But, like, I don't know. I find it strange. Maybe that's just because, like, I expect him to be taking on a lot of the London work. I don't know. My expectations for Charles are very strange in that, like, I expect him to be kind of back in London-based. Not that, Scotland is, of course, part of the UK and, like, very much in the realm of reasonable for them to be in. I just didn't expect him to be there. Anyway, today he was in Aberdeen, where he visited a local farmers market as well as companies that promote Scottish food, drink, etc. So that was his day. There wasn't like a ton of information that I found on this. Also, it's just like known that Charles supports organic everything. So, and I feel like we're just kind of seeing at this point the same thing over and over again from Charles in terms of his events in Scotland. Like, they're all very similar. And they're just kind of boring. And also, we had another great event that I want to talk a little bit more about. So today, the Duchess of Cambridge visited University College in London to learn about a study that they are launching called Children of the 2020s, which is basically going to be a lifelong research study for babies that are born right now in the UK. Which I think is really interesting because, again, going back to what I was talking about earlier, like the long-term effects of a pandemic, it's very interesting to see the impact that COVID is going to have on children's like first 5 years. And obviously this event for Kate is very similar to what she did with the first 5-year study and her early childhood platform. I literally can't remember what it's called, the Center for Early Childhood or something like that. So all of those things kind of align. So I just think this is like a really interesting thing that we'll see results from occasionally, because I'm sure Kate will continue her involvement with the study. Much like the early years project has been in process for years. The launch of the 5 big questions was like a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years ago. Like, there was just a lot going on. And so I think it's really awesome. And, I think this is something we'll see for a long time. But yeah, those were the 2 events from the British royal family. Not a whole lot, but like there were 2 events, which is great. I'm sure there were some other things behind the scenes, but we've made it into October, and I do think I'm going to go ahead and discontinue using the court circular. I'll still use it occasionally. It's just like I use it to count, and that's great. It's just really hard to have good conversations about like the meetings taking place behind the scenes because like I don't know the context, nor should I know the context. But I am endlessly curious of them. So that is what was going on today in the UK. So now we are going to move over to the Danish royal family. Denmark. In Denmark, there was one event. However, this event included everybody. It's a pretty major event, kind of, but not really. Like, we'll talk about it. So today was the opening of the Danish Parliament. So what this looks like in Denmark is drastically different than pretty much any other opening of Parliament that we see from a royal. So typically, the head of state, in this case Queen Margrethe, would be giving a speech. However, in Denmark, it is different, and she does not give a speech. She's not even on the floor. She's in like a gallery box that is dedicated to the royal family, in the Parliament building. And she's literally just presiding over the act, as well as Crown Prince Frederik, Crown Princess Mary. Like, everyone is just there, and it's also an event that the entire Danish royal family attends. So typically, this year it was Queen Margrethe, Crown Prince Frederik, Crown Princess Mary, and Queen Margrethe's sister, who is a working member of the Danish royal family. Also included in the Danish royal family, fun fact, are King Constantine and Queen Anne-Marie from Greece. Obviously, Greece is no longer a monarchy, but like King Constantine was the last king of Greece. But he is considered a member of the Danish royal family because his sister, or his wife, is. And so it's just very interesting. I appreciate it. It's funny. I certainly don't think of him as a member of the Danish royal family because he is a member of his own royal family. But it's fun when, like, they're able to do things like that, because it's just like, oh yeah, that's right, you're a member of this royal family now. So anyway, that is a little bit about, I don't know, that's just like my royal fun fact of the day, I guess. But so this was an opening of Parliament, but it's really hard to talk about because, like, Queen Margrethe doesn't give a speech, and, like, literally the royal family's job is to sit there. Like, they don't participate at all, which is totally fine. Like, every government is entitled to do whatever they need to do. It's just really hard to talk about because, like, that's the extent of it. They go and they sit, and then the Parliament is open, and they don't do like a church service before. I don't think they do a gala dinner. If they do, they haven't so far today. I don't think they do. I think that was the government dinner that was held last week. So, like, that's it. There's not a whole ton to talk about. I wish there were. Trust me, I wish there were. But there was not. However, that does not mean that there is not going to be an eventful week from the Danish royal family. It just starts a little bit later. So, starting in a couple of days, Queen Margrethe will start her visit to Greenland. That has been officially, the agenda has been announced. So that starts on Thursday. So there will be lots of Thursday content, and then over the weekend, and then she's there into next week. So, like, this is going to be very similar to her visiting the Faroe Islands, and that it's like one day of just, or a lot of days of just non-stop engagements, as she is the head of state for Greenland and the Faroe Islands as well. So that is what was going on in Denmark today, and a little look ahead. And now we are skipping down to Spain because there was nothing in the Netherlands or Norway today. Spain. And now we are in Spain. Very quick jump today. Very quick episode, I'm not going to lie. Like I said, it was a relatively calm day, at least in terms of like what we've been seeing, and also I'm recording the next day, which hasn't happened for a little while. So, like, not a whole lot to discuss today. Also, just like not days packed full of engagements, even for Spain. King Felipe had one event. Like, obviously there was still something, which is more than some other countries, but like one event in the Spanish royal family today. So King Felipe attended the opening of the South Summit Conference, which is an annual conference that has been being held since 2014, focused on entrepreneurship and business building opportunities in Southern Europe. So not just in Spain, but like in the Iberian Peninsula. I don't quite know what's considered Southern Europe. I would say probably maybe like Greece and Italy, but I think like the majority of partners that were there were Spanish companies and maybe some Portuguese companies and possibly some Italian, but like I doubt it. And so today he opened the conference or the summit, was able to tour some of the exhibits and companies and learn more, as well as meet with attendees and organizers about the event. It looked very casual. So one of the other things that we're facing today is honestly, like, yes, I've done my outline and I know what events happened, but that's the extent of it. Like, I haven't watched video yet. I came home and I have been working on the next launch of products that are going up tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they're going up tomorrow. And so that's what I've been doing all day. I've still been working, but like it's a different kind of work today. And like other than the opening of Danish Parliament, I haven't really consumed much of the information yet. Not that I won't later, I just haven't yet. Like I'm gonna go make dinner and do the things to like mark the end of my day. And then I'll probably catch up on a ton of like video and information that I've missed throughout the day. I also just know like this last 3 months of like October and November, so really just like the next 2 months are going to be very intense. And so I'm going to take the lighter, easier days and like celebrate them because I know there are going to be days that are not like this. I am so excited about days that are not like this, believe me, but like I'm going to take it and enjoy it and get a ton of other work done today too. You know, that is the cost of a one-woman show every now and then. So that is what was going on today in Spain. That is where we're going to end this episode because there was nothing going on in Sweden. I did mention that Crown Princess Victoria has been taking part in a conference that was hosted by CBOS. That's the extent of the information we know. I was hoping maybe there would be like a little bit of a readout today. Other than she was taking part in it, that's all they said. They did release a picture of that, so I will probably put that online if I can find a high quality version, because the Swedish royal family like website pictures are not always great. So we'll see if I can find a good one, and if I can't, I can't. You know, it's just where we're at. So that is what was going on today. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Please make sure to check out thedailyroyal.com, The Daily Royal on Instagram, and the Daily Royal shop on Etsy called Shop the Daily Royal. Please check all of those out, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a fantastic Wednesday. Bye.